next year, it wasn't nothing. You know, she could walk away from her job and nothing was missing, nothing was broken. And so that learning phase is very important. So you may be in the learning phase of your industry, wherever you're going. You got to be getting information. So number one is learning. Number two is editing. And so there's some things that you're going to find out there whenever you are doing your research, whenever you're looking up certain things, whenever you're just getting a perspective and seeing what's out there. There's going to be some things that are probably going to be good, but there's going to be some things that aren't good. So you got to learn how to edit in and you got to learn how to edit out. That's probably good for some of our relationships. You got to learn how to edit some people in and edit some people out. Yeah? Because some people are just dead weight that you need to get rid of. And so that may be for somebody, I know where I went that way. Anyways, editing in, editing out, okay? And then, so when you're editing, after you've edited, now it's time to go on to mastery. Now I'm taking what I've learned. Now I'm taking what I've edited. Now I'm mastering those things. I'm giving my life to it. I'm giving my focus to it. I was, me and the executive team, we had a huddle here. And it was just it was Pastor Diego and all of us, and he showed us this video of this guy who has been making sushi for 75 years. And he has mastered the art of making sushi so much so that he only has 9 seats in his restaurant, and he literally has a 2-month waiting period before you can actually get a reservation. He's mastered the art of sushi. Sushi is just, he talks up, man, it's amazing. I wish I remember the thing, but his name is Hiro. So just go in YouTube, Jiro, and then put sushi or something like that. You can watch it on Netflix or something like that, but it is amazing. You will find so many nuggets in that thing, but he's learned the art of mastering it. Think about Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook. He's mastered the art of social media. Think about whenever Steve Jobs was alive. I mean, he mastered the art of emerging technology. And now that he's gone, those of you who are iPhone users can, feel the difference because my Samsung is better than your iPhone. Anyways, but they master the art. Don't get caught up in the trap of trying to be good at everything. Yeah. That's very hard for a visionary. Because a visionary gets vision, like I said, for breakfast. We get it. But you gotta master the art of being a master at one thing. What is it gonna be that you specialize in taxes? What type of jewelry are you gonna be known for? What type of, valet trash service are you gonna be known for? How are you gonna master that? Pick one thing that separates you from the entire masses and focus on that thing, master it, okay? And then after mastery, there is harvesting. And so now after you've grinded, after you've put the work in, now, because many times, let me just help some of you all. In your first 3 years of business, don't expect to make any money. Don't expect to be able to go out and buy the dream home and the dream cars. No, you need to start seeding that money back into your business so that your business can always be a cash cow. You need to always feed money back into your business. And so you have to harvest. So after that, you're harvesting. And then after that, the next phase is that you are guiding. And so generally he says in your 20s, you're learning. In your 30s, you're editing. In your 40s, you are mastering. In your 50s, you're harvesting. And in your 60s, you're guiding. But he makes it very, very clear in here that you don't have to be in your 60s to guide and you don't have to be in your 20s to learn. But generally, this is how people have went through and built something significant that literally has lasted generations. And so if we look back to Henry Ford, if we look back to the Rockefellers, we look back to, all of these guys or all of these ladies who actually set the bar of what business looks like today, they went through those different phases. And so that's what this book is about. And one of the great things, and I'll close it with this, he hadn't written this book, but he wrote this book. And so he was a budding author, and he had wrote Quitter. And so he was on a plane, and I think he was coming from Las Vegas, and he was going somewhere East Coast. And so he was on a plane flight, and of course he's a budding author, so he's giving his book to everybody. So he's just like, just passing out, hey, read my book, just trying to get out there. And one thing, he gave his book to these 2 ladies who were in their mid-70s or something like that. It was kind of like a bucket list trip that they went to Las Vegas, spent all their money and all that different stuff, just kind of 2 sisters just doing whatever they wanted to do. And so he gave them the book, and he was sitting right next to him. And he explains in this book, start that about halfway through the flight, the lady, she's been reading the book, for about half the flight. And halfway through it, she stops and whispers, leans over to him. She says, John, what do you do when all of the excuses that you used not to chase your dream are gone? What do you do then? So she asked the question, what do you do? Like, when you realize you've gotten to the end of your life and you didn't take the risk. You didn't read the book. You didn't get serious about the business plan. You didn't make specific goals. You didn't make, heartfelt goals, attainable goals, realistic goals, and disciplined goals. You didn't apply yourself.